The New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports, or OASAS, provides this podcast as a public service. Thoughts and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent or reflect those of the agency or state. This is Addiction, the Next Step.
Welcome back to Addiction, the Next Step, podcast brought to you by the New York State Offices of Addiction Services and Supports. I'm Jerry Gretzinger, your host, and today we're talking about something a little bit different. We're going to talk a little bit about a moment in recent history and how that may have impacted or affected some really important addiction services and supports that are being delivered in the western part of New York, specifically Buffalo. We are joined today by Robin Mann. She's from the Prevention Council, the executive director out there in Erie County. And thank you for sitting down with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So that moment in history I want to talk about, we're going back to 2022. It was May 14th. And that's when there was a mass shooting at the Tops supermarket there.
Right.
And, we've been talking about that before the episode started, but not to kind of go back and have to revisit the entire experience, but I mean, you live there, you shop there. This is something that affected every aspect of life in that region.
Absolutely, it did. Absolutely. So the Tops in that area is the only grocery store in that area. So that's where the residents go to shop. For it to be targeted for what it was targeted for, just being racially motivated, shook up the entire neighborhood, right? Because it's the only store there, grocery store, and you're not safe in your own community because of the color of your skin.
Right.
So yes, it devastated the community for sure.
So when we put it in the context of the services that are provided by the Prevention Council, and I want to have you talk more about that broadly, about what it does, what it provides in a few minutes, but what impact did it have on what the Prevention Council does day in and day out? How did it affect the clients who go to it?
So we do prevention, right? And the whole notion is to prevent people from becoming addicted, right? So it's about making healthy choices and healthy decisions for yourself and your family, and how those choices impact yourself, your family, and the community. So we do a lot of education, we do a lot of skill building, and it just became a little more relevant at that time because, you're talking about a traumatic experience. That was one of them, right? One of those that are totally out of your control. So we work in schools, and we work in the schools around that community. And we were just present. We were there for the students. We talked about how to deal with stress, how to deal with anxiety. Because again, the shooting was racially motivated, and that's not something you can change, right? You are who you are.
Yeah.
And so the uncertainty, the fear, how does a child, how does an adult, how does someone of color move forward knowing that I have a target on my back in my community, in my yard, and I'm doing something as innocent as grocery shopping, right?
Yeah.
So we just really try to be more of a presence to the community, more of a presence in the schools that we were in, within that community, help out and volunteer where we could as a staff to help the residents in the community.
And so I would think too, with being familiar with the world of prevention work today, maybe not everybody is, and we'll talk about that now. It sounds like you kind of keep doing what you were doing and probably do more of it, because we're here on the OASAS podcasts and people think, okay, it's addiction services and supports, but really the work of prevention now goes beyond what people may think was like just say no, just don't use drugs, and that's the end of it. But it's not anymore. There's so much more involved in it.
Absolutely, it is. So in the world of prevention, we teach social skills. We teach the signs and symptoms. We teach the behaviors that come with substance use so that people have heightened awareness of what it is. We really work very hard to minimize the stigma as much as we can so that people who are in need can, receive the services that they need. We try to help individuals pull back the cover on it being a family thing, and what happens in this house stays in this house, which then means sometimes people don't get the services they need. So it's teaching individuals and normalizing and making it okay to get help if you need help, but also helping individuals understand that you don't have to use drugs and alcohol when you're stressed or when you're depressed or lonely or bored or just because, right? Like there's other alternatives, but also understanding one's maybe predisposition to addiction. What does that look like? Understanding how drugs impacts the body of all ages, not just, kids, but from our little ones all the way to our, seniors, right? What does that look like? How easy is it to become addicted for individuals? So again, making healthy choices. So it's not just saying no, but it's making choices that are informed choices and informed decisions about you and your family.
And some of the skills that you just discussed certainly have much more application than when it comes to substances, and I'm sure that incident at TOPS was an example as to how that could be so helpful and useful to people.
Absolutely. Robin,
I want to thank you for sitting down and chatting with us today. I think the work you're doing out there is great. If people have questions or want to get involved or think they might be able to benefit from some of the services, the prevention services, where can they go? How can they find you online?
So we service Erie County, but we are connected with many counties throughout New York State. So you don't have to be in Erie County to need assistance, but you can give us a call and we can direct you in the area that you live in for any services, whether prevention, treatment, early intervention, recovery, harm reduction, whatever services you might need, we can link you to that. But they can call 716-831-2298.
Okay.
And they can just ask for anyone. They can ask for me or just say, I'm calling because I need some help. And the person who answers will help them or connect them with someone that they can contact.
Great. Thank you so much. And I'm going to share OASAS information as well because we have a lot of services and supports we can connect you with there. Additionally, it's oasas.ny.gov, oasas.ny.gov, and our Hope line 877-8-HOPE-NY. Robin Mann, thank you once again.
Thank you.
For sitting down with us today. And thank you for checking out this episode of the podcast. I'm Jerry Gretzinger. Until we talk to you again, be well.